I am going to check if I actually started the recording. Yes, okay, great. Yeah, so very welcome. It's very eenvoudig. We're just going to start with your caucus. You'll have your 5 minutes to do your speech. I'll be having my camera off, and then when you have 30 seconds left, I'll put my camera back on again, and then we'll move over to your Q&A session, which I'll explain further then. Just on your Q&A session, if you're busy with your questions and I put my hand up like this, then it just means your time's up, so just finish your sentence and then we can finish off. So you are more than welcome to start whenever you are ready, and then we will be listening.
Perfect. Purple. The color I should have chosen when asked on my first day of welcoming what my favorite color is. This color represents so much more than jacaranda trees and the best flavored sweets. It represents my home away from home and the people that feel like home, Aristea. My name is Jenna Anderson, and I am an eager and loyal Aristea member that is currently applying for Vice Primaria. Being part of Aristea for the past 2 years, I have witnessed how this house has given each individual the opportunity to bloom, just as our Aristea flowers do, by giving the other time and patience to shine. I believe by being Vice Primaria, I can continue to do this by implementing and growing on the individuality of all of our members. Everybody has their own uniqueness to offer, and I'd like to embrace this by making Aristea a house that everybody feels welcome to be a part of. By having people embrace their uniqueness, it allows others to experience and bond, and it would reveal similarities and interests among the members. By creating an environment where everyone feels welcome and comforted, I would hope that this would encourage people to stand for leadership roles within Aristea, whether it be a committee, a mentor role, or even house committee. I'd like to continue to work on the leadership development within Aristea, as I've been able to see that it's helped me grow as a leader, and I'd like to make this possible for other Aris. My strongest core value is respect, and I believe this is an extremely important thing, as it really is the very thing that leadership stands on, whether such as efficient communication, kindness towards all, and loyalty for what you believe in. By being Vice Primaria, I'd like to emphasize the idea of respect, starting within the House Committee, and allowing this to be seen and felt by all of our ARI members. One of my favorite memories has to be Fensters 2020, not because I showed off my ridiculously silly dance moves, but because no matter how loud we sang the first time, it sounded even louder the second time. And that's because the gees in Aristea is immense. Whether it's 300 people or 3, you can hear a "Ari, Ari, Ari" wherever you are. And being Vice Primaria, I'd like to continue to make Aristea a house that's filled with fun, no matter the circumstances, and show that the passion we have for our purple house is undescribable. The qualities and roles I anticipate being most beneficial as a Vice Primaria is to have effective communication skills, such as resolve conflict and also be able to communicate with all our fellow Aris. Being a 2021 mentor to my amazing group of BSc mentees, I was given the opportunity to improve on my communication skills, whether it be me telling them about my own experiences or relaying university information. I believe I was able to improve on these skills. Another quality I believe to be important is agility. Coming from a boarding school, where I experienced many of the toughest parts of high school on my lonesome, and I needed my own independence and own decision making, this definitely equipped me with the ability of agility. COVID-19 has made this a super valuable attribute to possess, as it allows for one to make the appropriate decisions in any sticky situation and to explore alternative options. The last quality I believe to be important is possessing the ability to be a supporting role to my primaria. If I'm given the opportunity, I would strive to make a dynamic duo that lifts Aristea to even higher heights through encouragement, passion for the house and its members, and creating an emphasis on leadership development. I'm excited to be given the opportunity to run for Vice Primaria of the best PSR on campus. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jenna. We will be moving on to your Q&A session now. Like I said before, if I put up my hand, it just means your 10 minutes are done. And then, so just finish up your sentence. We will be asking you one standardized question, and then I will be opening it up to the panel, and we'll be asking you some questions as well as some questions from the house. So your one standardized question is, what would you be doing if you were not doing this? So what would you be doing on campus if applying for Aristea leadership was not an option?
Wow, Aristea really has been my passion. So if I weren't currently applying for this position, I definitely think I might have applied. No, that's not me. On campus, I know I would still be participating in some form of hockey. I did say to myself that coming into university, I didn't quite want to take it so seriously. And coming into my PSO life, that instantly became my new passion. So I think if I hadn't had Aristea being my passion, I definitely probably would have pursued a more committed hockey career. And yeah, I probably would have been in my books studying.
Thank you very much. I have another question for you, and then I think there might be someone else with a question as well. My question is, how do you think your confidence and strong voice will benefit you in the HE during meetings, when having Marge's back in situations, like supporting her?
Definitely knowing that Vice Primaria is definitely a role that needs you to be able to communicate well with all of your HC members. Having a strong voice also means that you can almost command a situation, and by having Marge's back, I can only by using my strong voice, I think I definitely possess the quality of knowing how to command a room, but also being able to listen as well, because having a strong voice doesn't help if you're not saying the right things. You can shout and scream or think whatever you need, but it also, you need to have your background information, you need to have all of your resources before you can use your strong voice for the good of the team.
Thank you very much, Jenna. I'll open it up to the rest of the panel now. I think we have some questions there for you.
Hi there, Jenna. Just on your relationship with the Prim, should you be elected, how would you deal with a situation where you and the Prim don't see eye to eye? And then also, how would you hold the Prim accountable should the situation arise?
Firstly, if Marge and I were not to see eye to eye, I think we would have to sit down and just discuss our reasons to why I believe it should be like this, or this is probably the best, or why she believes it should be like that. And at the end of the day, we need to decide on what is best for the house. No matter whether Marge thinks it's the correct decision or whether I think it's the correct decision is the one for the house. So, yeah, so that was the first question. If you don't mind quickly rephrasing the second part, please, Booker.
How would you hold the Prim accountable in situations where you'd have to do that?
Accountability. I think once again, it has to come down to communication. I think she would have to give me, she would have to give us her reason for it, but also be able to substantiate why this again is best for the house or why it's best for the HC and what benefits it has, but also be able to explain, like, if this maybe doesn't go right or according to her plan, this is maybe what she did anticipate, but it was just what the risk of what her decision was.
Thank you, Jenna. Okay, I think we have
Hey,
another
Jen.
question from the panel.
Joss.
Okay, so my question for you is, how are you going to ensure that you keep a good balance between your academics and house committee?
This is definitely a very thing I've been tossing up, but I do believe when applying for HC, I made the commitment and I said to myself, I'm going to use all of the organization skills I've used throughout my years, all of my time management skills, everything that I pride myself on, all my calendars and everything, just to make sure that I'm always, I want to say prioritizing, but prioritizing, I want to keep everything on my pedestal. I don't want to make one thing fall behind the other because I know it's very easy to slip up and focus on one thing and not the other. But definitely, I think I'm going to use my skills of time management and just organization to keep on the ball, make my checklists, and just keep up to date.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jenna, I also have a question for you. And my question is, how do you spoke a little bit about your home away from home and a welcoming environment. So I wanted to know, how would you go about creating that welcoming environment within your HC as internal relations HC and vice primoria?
One thing I've been thinking about a lot is that Aristia, I have such a great amount of pride for Aristia. And I believe the best way to keep people involved and keep a happy environment within a space is to have people proud of what they're doing. Make it their first priority. If not first priority, always something that's on the top of their list. And that sense of welcoming is honestly, it gives you a rush. It is one of the most exciting things to be part of that whole experience. So I'd like to keep that same form of excitement, the same form of passion for the house, the same form of pride throughout as long as I can, because it shouldn't just be something that's felt during welcoming. It should be something felt when you're walking on campus and you see a familiar Ari girl. Oh, I remember, sorry.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else have a question for Jenna? Boka.
Hello. So there's a good question from the house that I'd like to present to you. It states, how do you align Aristia with your vision and mission for your term as vice primaria?
So the key values I'd like to have as vice primaria is, it just happened that respect was obviously one of our most important values in Aristia. And I believe that's an extremely important one, because as soon as you have respect for your HE members within your group, your newcomers, your second year's comm, or everyone, as soon as you keep those values aligned, it can only lead to a created bond within Aristia that only could lead to success. So like I said, one of my strongest values is respect, and I believe it really does sit at the center of most of people's values, like kindness and teamwork and stuff. So I definitely will keep that. And then saying, like, Aristia really is my home away from home. I truly believe that. So if I can bring that to the other girls and make that their motto and their vision as the same as ours, it can only feel like their home away from home too. Cool.
Thank you. We have time for one quick question. So I have a quick answer question for you. My question is, what would be written on Jenna's tombstone? What would the world say about Jenna in one sentence?
She made herself proud. Yes.
Thank you very much. Nice, quick, to the point answer. Yeah, that is about all we have time for. So
Perfect.
thank you very much for joining us, and I hope that you have a lovely evening further.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.